morning, students. So, today we are continuing blood relation. Students, first of all, let me tell you that we have been discussing this topic for some time, for about 15 days. We have been discussing this topic. If I have to ask you one question straight, what do you learn from this? What you might have learned in all the 15 days? Did you learn any topic? Did you learn any subject? Learn any formula? Got any idea about some topics like? But let me be very fair enough to you. Probably for the all 15 days, what you have learned is nothing any new subject. Probably now you might have, you could manage your brain to think about problem solving. Students, as I told you that this topic we call it as aptitude. We call this topic as an aptitude. It is usually very famous name that is given almost in all parts of the world. Aptitude is very familiar name. But it is not just aptitude, somebody call it as problem solving. This topic is also known as problem solving. The significance of this topic is not to just know what is all about the topic, but to know how to solve it. The significance of the topic is to solve a problem. How you solve a problem? Whenever a new question comes to you, how you react, how do you solve it? This is all important in this topic. That is the reason why, and after discussing this particular topic for about 15 days, if my question to you, what you have learned, obviously you say that you never learn anything new. All the concepts are been already, you know, right from the beginning. So profit and loss, percentages, all these topics you already know. Blood relations, something that you usually come across in your day-to-day life, blood relations and all that. But so when after completing this particular topic, if my question to you, so what you have learned, if my question to you is what you have learned, I can only say that you have learned to solve a problem in your own direction. So usually in solving some questions, somebody takes a lot of time and somebody quickly can get it. That's a different issue. But at least you understand how to handle a question. That is the significance of this topic. But beware. One thing I just want to let you know, beware, be careful. Every time you come to learn new concepts. Every time. Probably when you are preparing for exams, you will come to know this. Students, wait for some time. We are actually setting up the program. You please wait for some time, few minutes. Right, students. So when we look at the material and when we can understand the significance of aptitude, as I am telling you that, you never learn any new things. You never learn any new things. You never come across with different subjects. I don't teach you any mathematics. I don't teach you any subject like. What I am going to help you is critical thinking. How to understand and how to solve a problem. This is what we call is problem solving. Aptitude, problem solving, both mean the same. In this dynamic world, my dear students, we never know what actually happens tomorrow. What actually happens the next moment, nobody knows. Today, I just come to know that WHO president has warned the public, corona is not going to be the last disease. We may face this kind of diseases in coming days. That was a bitter experience. That was something that could not believe. Because we are thinking, what about corona? But he said that there may be another epidemic, something like this. Which I mean to say that we should be well prepared to face any kind of eventualities. The world keep on moving, whatever the problem that may arises. The world never stops anywhere, it keep on moving. We must be able to understand what to do whenever there is new things, whenever something happens new to us. That significance we call it as aptitude. My dear students, Aptitude, I told you that after Second World War, America has developed a topic called aptitude. Of course, aptitude is there in our even Indian examinations for a long time, but they designed the topic professionally. So then people come to know, oh, this is aptitude, something they understand, okay, this is something what we call as aptitude. I just want to give you very serious warning to all of you. The topic will never come to an end. More you do, more you can do. And more you start doing the questions, more difficulty the question becomes. It is an adopted topic. So therefore, while appearing for exam or when you are taking a test, if you are not getting all the questions right, never mind. That is the nature of the topic. Don't be under impression that I have to get everything. How can you get everything? Is the topic is that easy? It is not that easy. You might have seen that in profit and loss. The basics are so simple, but when you are about to solve the questions, we are getting different models. Students, I want to give you one important point as far as this particular topic is concerned. Why this topic is so famous, you know. If you might have recently taken your MCET exam, probably maybe you are able to take after some time. In your academic exams, your question and answers are very much fixed, you know. Teacher teaches you some topics and in exams the same questions comes and you have to repeat the same again. It is nothing but mugging up. What you did in your academics is something like a mugging up. But in aptitude, what actually happens, you know, you come across with different kinds of questions. Students, that is the reason why aptitude is broadly divided into 3 components. In aptitude, now I think the time has come to explain you the significance of aptitude. Because after 15 days of time, I think you make up your mind what is an aptitude and all that. So probably this is the time to explain you some more important points in this topic. Yeah, I need to explain all this. Because if you see that Chinese products are fully dominating in Indian market, wherever you go, you only see Chinese products. Sometimes you get irritated and you feel that why don't we can make those kind of products. But yes, we are just thinking about, but could you make? Can you immediately replace Chinese products with Indian products? It's not that easy, you know, because their education is depending on skill. Our education is depending on mugging. Unfortunately, this is the fact. This is absolutely unwanted, but it is the fact. We don't have the skill in our academics. Education system has to change. My question to you, how you develop your skill? Come on student, let me tell you that. Just I give you one example, just try to understand what is my point. For example students, if I give you, if 4 is coded as, if my question to you, if 4 is coded as 7, then my question to you, how 6 is decoded? If this is my question. If 4 is coded as 7, then how 6 is decoded? It is something in coding decoding. And you can ask me, sir, you did not teach this question. No, we don't teach, man. Not all the questions are taught by the teacher. It is something you have to develop of your own. You understand that in competitive examinations, in entrance examinations, it is not that everything is taught by the teacher, particularly aptitude. I just give you a way how to think. It is you to develop all that. Probably you can think that 4 plus 3 is 7, therefore 6 plus 3 is 9, something like that you can think. There are different ways of thinking. You see that whenever a question is given, probably your brain starts thinking in a different direction, you know. So how did we get this 7 from 4, my dear students? Maybe 4 plus 3 is equal to 7, or else 4 into 2 minus 1, you can also get 7, and all else 4 square is 16 and 1 plus 6 is equal to 7, isn't it? Isn't it? How did you get 7 from 4? It can be simply plus 3. It can be simply, come on. into 2 minus 1 we can get in any way, isn't it? So, basing on that you start coding this question. Therefore, you may think that 6 plus 3 is 9, and you can also think that 6 into 2 minus 1 it can be 11, or you can also think that 6 square is 36. Therefore, 3 plus 6 is equal to 9, which I mean to say that whenever a new question comes to you, it is important that you start thinking immediately in different directions. Students, at this moment I want to introduce one of the very important concept taught by the great Aristotle. Aristotle is said to be father of sciences. He taught a wonderful concept of logic. What he says, the question given to you is called stimulation. The question given to you is called stimulation. The answer you are arriving at is said to be response. So, what is stimulation? Question is stimulation. What is response? Your answer is response. So, your response depends from the stimulation. But you can question me, sir, why somebody could able to respond quickly, why the remaining people could not? You understand, my dear students? Somebody people could able to respond quickly, somebody are taking lot of time, and somebody are not at all getting any idea. You know what makes the difference? What is all that? Between stimulation and response, there is one important character that comes under stage 2 is, should I tell you, organization. Organization, that makes the difference. This organization capacity is called aptitude. The organization capacity is called aptitude. Whenever a question is given to you, you need to organize your brain. Oh, how to think, how to solve, then you can come to a conclusion. Not everybody does this. That is the reason why getting into the right conclusion is not everybody's game. My dear students, I am giving a serious warning. The coming world is going to be very dynamic. You never know how the things are going to change. But it is necessary that you must tune your brain to see that anything you must be able to receive positively, which means you must be in a position to respond quickly whatever the situation that comes to you. Therefore, aptitude will help you to understand these questions properly, and whenever there is any new question, you try to respond quickly. Why I am telling all this, my dear students? Yesterday, maybe you have taken some examination, you might have seen this paper, my dear students. A plus B means, you remember my dear students, A plus B means A is brother of B. A is brother of B. Have you come across this kind of questions yesterday? A plus B means A is brother of B. And you might also see that A divided by B means A is wife of B. Oh, this is very surprising. Sometimes A becomes brother, sometimes A becomes wife. Is it something? No. It is not actually about A and B. It is all about plus and division. Yesterday paper, I think you might have this question. So, this question is the combination of blood relations, coding, decoding. What do you think? This question is a combination of blood relation, coding, decoding. It is a classical example of aptitude, which mean to say that when we go ahead, we see this kind of combinations. So, after giving these two questions, probably your question could be something like this. If m plus n divided by b, then your question can be, what is what is M to B? Basing on this, the question can be put like this, isn't it? What, ma'am? Isn't it? Now we need to answer this question basing on the information that is provided to you. Come on student, then how do we approach this question? Come on, tell me. What is M plus N? Just read it. A plus B means A is brother of B. M plus N means M is brother of N. M is plus because M happens to be brother. What do you think? Then what we have? N divided by B. What does that mean, my dear students? A divided by B means A is wife of B. Therefore, N divided by B means N is wife of B. Therefore, couple should be put in brackets. What do you think? Come on, man. Come on, man. From this, what we can conclude? We can conclude that M is brother-in-law to B. When M is brother of B, M-in-law will be brother-in-law to B. What do you think? I hope you understand this. So, this is a classical example of aptitude. I mean to say that a question can be combination of 2 to 3 topics. It is a combination of coding, decoding and blood relations. Be ready to see surprise. There is always possibility of surprise. The significance of the topic is this. So, my sincere appeal to all of you, please understand that the basics of the topic are so important, but while doing the question, you always face different concepts. Sometimes that may be totally different than what we discuss in the class. Do not expect in the paper you get the same questions what we discuss in the class. It never happens like that, because it is not an academic exam, it is a competitive examination. You always come across with different questions. You must be prepared for that. Anyway students, now we will be continuing that, and before that let me tell you one thing, my dear students. You please do not post any messages unless I ask you to do so, because what happens, there are some thousands of students are in the class. So, if you start responding for a simple thing, it is very difficult for me to understand what you are actually posting. I am getting tons of messages almost within seconds. It is very difficult for me to read. Therefore, I make sure that you do not be having any confusion while understanding the topic. I will be teaching each question at least for 1 or 2 times, so that you will be able to understand that properly. So, please do not post unless I ask you to do so. Okay? Even if you post, I may not be in a position to read. There are hundreds of posts just there. Okay? Please do not do that. Right. Come on student, now we just look at the questions. Here is the question. So, question model number 1, we were actually discussing about this model. Model number 1, I think it is okay for you. This question, I think you need not repeat this. So, I do not want to repeat those questions which already we discussed. Question number 2 is also okay for you. Third and fourth questions, we discussed. Question number 5 to 6 is all done. Question number 7 to 8. I think there is no confusion so far. Question number 7 to 8, they are all comfortable, I think. Probably question number 9 to 11, you might have had some difficulty, my dear students. I believe that you might have had some difficulty in understanding this question, isn't it? Probably while answering this question, I believe that you, the people, might be having some difficulty in understanding this question. Let me come to that point again. Yes, students, please do not post anything, man. Just look at that. So, while probably this kind of question you might have had some difficulty, but if you do it for second time, you will be getting all that clear. So, just look at that, my dear students. A, B, C, D, E are members of the same family. There are 2 fathers, 2 sons, 2 wives, 3 males and 2 females. The teacher is the wife of lawyer, and there are some important points in this question, my dear students. That is, C is the youngest person in the family, you understand, and D is the eldest person in the family. Probably we can conclude that when you are talking about the youngest, he may belong to third generation. When you are talking about the eldest, he may belong to first generation. I think you understand that. Eldest means the person usually in the first generation, youngest mostly in third generation. This is something we can come to a point. So, students, in every question there is some important point. If we can understand the point, probably it is very easy to handle that. Okay? Just look at that. There are 5 members in the family. Now, just go one by one. The teacher was the wife of a lawyer who was son of a doctor. Come on, student. There is a doctor and a doctor has a son, and of course, son is a lawyer. You understand, son is a lawyer, and lawyer's wife is a teacher. I hope you understand, my dear students. Do you understand that? What do you think? Teacher is wife of a lawyer, lawyer is son of a doctor, because lawyer is the son, therefore male. Right at the moment, I don't know whether doctor is male or female. Can I conclude that C will be in third generation and D will be in first generation? What, man? Common sense, you know. Because C happens to be the youngest and D happens to be the eldest. Tell me. B is a male. B is a male. C is the youngest person in the family and D is a male. Come on, read the question once again. The teacher was the wife of a lawyer. The teacher was wife of a lawyer. And who was the son of a doctor? Yes, everything is fine. E is not a male, therefore E is a female. Neither also wife of a professional. E is a wife. E is a wife. But E's husband is not a professional. Lawyer is a professional, teacher is a professional, doctor is a professional. But E is a wife, but she is not a wife of a professional, which means to say that this must be E and E's husband should be D. See, D's profession is not given. We can conclude that E is not a wife of a professional. That is the beauty of reasoning. That is why the topic becomes a universally acceptable topic for competitive exams. What do you think? Come on, student. Then C is the youngest person in the family and D is an eldest. Here D is the eldest, happens to be my husband, and B is a male. B is a male means, my dear students, here one should be male, no? Therefore lawyer can be taken as a male. Anybody left? Anybody left, man? A. Therefore A should be teacher. What do you think? Now read the information once again. A, B, C, D are members of the family. There are 2 fathers here. D is a father, B is a father. 2 sons, B is a son, therefore C should be son as well. 3 males here, D, B and C males. 2 females, A and E both are females. What do you think? Yes, students, I just give you very interesting point. You may not be able to understand the question in the first stretch. Maybe in the second stretch you will be able to understand the question. If you are not comfortable in the first stretch, you can go for the second stretch. In the second stretch, you will definitely able to understand this. Yeah. Yesterday paper you are asking me to explain, I will be doing that. You need not post that, man. We will definitely discuss yesterday's paper. Every time we do that. Students, so if you don't get the question in the first stretch, you should always give a second thought about, and I can tell you that in the second case you will definitely get it to know. Okay? But I can understand the difficulty, my dear students. You are all being about 18 years, hardly you are around 18 years of age. This is the beautiful age of learning. In US, most of the questions are basing on aptitude, and most of the students of your age only, they will be taking this test. But if you find any difficulty in the first stage, probably you can get it in the second time. But I understand where usually people make the mistake. I will be discussing this again and again, no problem students. Yeah, probably this question, yeah, you could able to get it. No problem students, I just want to go to the next question. If you really find any difficulty, you please let me know. We will be discussing that again and again, no problem. Right students? So, question number 15 to 18 we will be discussing at the end, right, not now. We discuss this particular question at the end of session, okay, just leave it. Right students, just leave the questions. Right, now just look at that. Look at question number 19 to 21. Question number 19 to 21, look at the question. Read the question properly. Probably after reading the question for one time, if you don't get, you read the question for another time. And what is important is, my dear students, there is always some interesting information given in the question. What is important is you must be able to catch that. That is very important. Yeah, just look at that. A, B, C, D, E, F are members of a family. They are engineer, stenographer, doctor, draughtsman, lawyer, judge, not in order. Yeah. So, in this question there are 6 members. Yeah, 6 members, 6 professions. So, our challenge is to find which profession, we need to confirm the profession of an individual, as well as we should also confirm the relation among these 6 people. So, that is our concern. Just read the question once again. A, the engineer is married to the lady stenographer. Come on student. A, the engineer is married to the lady stenographer. How do we take this? Obviously something like this. A, what is the profession? Engineer. Profession is engineer, is a male. How do we know? Because he happened to marry a lady stenographer. I don't know the person, but he happens to be stenographer. What do you think? A's profession is an engineer and he married to a lady stenographer. That we don't know who is this stenographer, we may come to know after some time. Next, come on student, look at the next information. What is this? The judge is married to the lawyer. The next couple is judge and lawyer. The judge is married to the lawyer. What do you think? Here in this case, I come to know A is male, stenographer is female, but in this case, I don't know who is the judge and who is lawyer. But I know that judge and lawyer are a couple. Then, look at the next information. F, the draughtsman is son of B and brother of E. Who is man? F. F, draughtsman, profession is draughtsman, is the son of B and brother of E. What do you think? Is blue color is not okay, my dear students? Okay, no problem. I will skip to red color. F, come on student, F, the son, profession is draughtsman and is brother of E. What do you think? Okay, comfortable? So far so good. I think there is no confusion. I am going in the right direction because I am just looking at the information provided. Next, come on student, what information we already use? This information we already use. Then, see the lawyer. See the lawyer. C, the lawyer is daughter-in-law of D. Why C female man? Because C is daughter-in-law. Daughter-in-law of D. Come on, tell me who is D? Who is D? What do you think? If you want to be daughter-in-law, there must be somebody above to you. Then only you become a daughter-in-law. Come on, tell me, who should be D? Who should be D? Yeah, this is D. Therefore, this particular couple should be above this particular couple, which I can tell you that A, engineer, and D is stenographer. D is stenographer, A is engineer. See? C, the lawyer, is the daughter-in-law of D. So, A and D are one couple. I think you understand, my dear students. C, the daughter-in-law of D. This information I use. Again, E is unmarried doctor. So, E's profession is doctor. D is the grandmother. Yeah, this is the point, man. D is the grandmother of F. So, D is in the first generation, F in the third generation, F and E. What do you think? What do you think, man? What do you think? And who is the judge, my dear students? F is the son of B, therefore B is none other than judge. I think you understand this. What? What, man? Tell me. What is the profession of B? The profession of B is judge. So, you see that we are trying to find some coherence between the informations which are not actually given to you in the right manner. Did you find any difficulty in answering this question? Okay. What is the solution? Do it again. Do it again, man. You will get it perfect. No problem. We can do, if we can do it again, we will be getting this for sure. Right. Just look at that. 19 to 21. Same question, students. Same questions. There is no right. Just look at this question. Tell me what is the key point in this question. Here the key point is D is grandmother of F. What does that mean? 3 generations. First generation D, third generation F, because the D happens to be grandmother of F. What do you think? This is a beautiful topic, you know. This is a very interesting, right? Come on, student. And what is another point in this question where we can start off? Where we can start off? Yeah, we can start with this information. C, the lawyer, is the daughter-in-law of D. Maybe that is the best information to start with. D, C, the lawyer, profession is a lawyer, daughter-in-law of D. Therefore, there must be some couple here. C is female and there must be male. Then D is grandmother of F, therefore F belongs to third generation. What do you think? What do you think, man? Comfortable? You see, I am just looking the information which is convenient to me. There is no such compulsion that we have to start from the first question, first information. We can take the information as it pleases to you. We can take, there is no such compulsion. Come on man, come on, yes. Then, what is the next information? Here I am using this. What is this? F, the draughtsman, is the son of B, brother of E. Yeah. Who is F? Draughtsman. What is the profession? Draughtsman. And he is son of B. Yeah, son of B. And he is also brother of E. BC one couple, EF are children of BC, therefore one couple should be over here. This is that particular couple we are actually looking for. Tell me, students, then A, the engineer, married to the lady stenographer. Just look at that. A, the engineer, is married to the lady stenographer. Yes, here is A. Stenographer is D. So D is the stenographer. A's profession is engineer. Just read that. A, the engineer, is married to the lady stenographer. C is the daughter-in-law of D. Then the judge is married to lawyer. So definitely this particular couple. and here in this case B is judge. Then what information we have? E is unmarried doctor, therefore E's profession is doctor. What do you think? Are we done? Probably yeah. And at the end of the question, if we have to question, if there is any one confusion, the confusion is gender of E is not clear. E's gender is not clear. It is only given doctor, but never mentioned whether male or female. Come to this. Which of the following is a couple? Couple are AD and BC, both AD and BC. Students, please comment whether this question is okay or not. Simply say yes or no. Simply say yes or no. Please mention whether it is right or not. Come on student, please respond. If it is okay, then I will move on to the next question, otherwise I need to explain this again. Please respond student, is this question is okay to you or not? Yes or no, just simply mention yes or no. Okay or not okay? If you think no, I need to explain this again. No, somebody says, majority of the people say yes, but even still some people are say they don't understand this question. No problem student, we need to explain this again. Just look at that. Look at this question my dear students. If you think it is not clear, we have to discuss this again. Let me tell you where we have to start this question. Just look at that. We can start anywhere I told you. Okay, no problem. I will get into the question one by one. A, the engineer is married to the lady stenographer. Okay. A, the engineer. A, come on student. Engineer is married to the lady stenographer. This is one couple. Okay. Student, I need to explain because somebody says no, because therefore I have to consider those people also. No problem, we discuss again. But many people say yes. Almost a majority of you say yes. But still, if there is any confusion from one or two people, I need to explain them. As a teacher, this is my responsibility. Come on student, never mind. Next one. Then again, you understand it? Then next one. The judge is married to the lawyer. The judge is married to the lawyer. Another couple is judge and lawyer. You understand man? Judge and lawyer are another couple. I hope you understand. See which information I am conveniently using. Which information I am conveniently using. C, the lawyer is the daughter-in-law of D. Therefore, you can cancel over here and come down. So, judge and this is lawyer. Who is lawyer? C is the lawyer. C is the lawyer, is the daughter-in-law of D. Therefore, D must be stenographer. You understand that? You make use of the information conveniently, man. Here you go. D is the grandmother of F. D is the grandmother of F. F belongs to third generation. I believe this is okay. Come on student. Then tell me what information we miss. I am conveniently taking the information as it is a good practice. You can also make use of this technique. Okay, but you must be confident enough while using this information. Come on student, and let us club any of the information is missing. Yeah, here it is. F, the draughtsman, is the son of B. F is the draughtsman. Profession of F is the draughtsman. Son of B. Therefore, B must be judge. And of course, E is unmarried doctor. Students, I think it is okay for you. So, hopefully you are able to get it right. But if any one of you are not getting it right, no problem student, you please tell me again, we will be discussing after some time. Now, look at question number 21, what is the profession of D? D's profession is stenographer. Just leave it. Next one. Yeah students, question number 20 to 24, for your kind information, this question is taken from CAT. Question number 20 to 24, this question is taken from CAT. For your kind information, CAT is considered to be the toughest examination in the world. It is one of the toughest examination in the world. In the world. You know what is CAT? This examination people take after their graduation to become management experts, MBAs. Majority of those who had their education in IIM, Indian Institute of Management, settled in America because that is one of the premier institute. And obviously examination is also a little tough, you can understand it. This question is taken from that particular exam. Come on student. Pawan Gupta has 3 children, Rakesh, Manoj and Prashant. Pawan Gupta has 3 children. Students, if you could look at this, in this question, the more stress is given Gupta, Saxena, Banerjee. Did you see that? So, usually in this kind of questions, more stress is given on surname. Student, the basic difference between North India and South India. The basic difference between North India and South India. North India is fully dominated by Aryan culture. South India, Dravidian culture. In South India, how do we write our name? We write our name D. Ganesh. We usually write our name D. Ganesh. D means my surname. I usually give no importance for my surname. I think you understand this. For your information, usually surnames goes like this: T.H. Mohan or T. Mohan, because we don't give any importance for our surname. Chiranjeevi we don't call Konidala Chiranjeevi because we least bother about surnames. But in North India, did you see, my dear students? Rakesh, Roshan, they give more importance for their surnames. Mukesh Agarwal, Agarwal is their surname. Raj Kapoor, Kapoor is the surname of. In North India, more importance is given for their surnames. In America, Donald Trump. Trump is more familiar because we don't know Donald, we know him Trump. Surname gets more important, that is Aryan culture. North India is fully dominated by Aryan culture. South India, Dravidian culture. So there is a difference between cultures. So in this kind of question, my dear students, if you can understand, more importance is given the surnames. Look at that. Pawan Gupta, which mean to say that this is Gupta family. There is a Gupta family. Tell me student, they has 3 children. Who are those children? Rekha Gupta, Manoj Gupta, Prashant Gupta. RJ means Rekha Gupta, MJ means Prashant Gupta, because that is Pawan Gupta family. Gupta family, the members of the Gupta family usually take the surname of Gupta only. Isn't it, my dear students? I hope you understand what I mean. Okay, just look at that. You tell me Rekha whether she is male or female. Rekha Gupta, male or female. Please make sure you cannot confirm the gender of any individual by name. Rajani, male or female? Rajani, very familiar cinema heroine, Tamil Nadu, is a male. But in Rajani, we usually take for females. So by the name, you should not confirm the gender of any individual. Blood relations is a very important topic. You should not confirm the gender of any individual by the name. Pawan Gupta has 3 children, Rekha Gupta, Manoj Gupta, Prashant Gupta. Right students, it is all done. Now come to the point. Prashant married Prashant Gupta. Prashant Gupta married Shivani, the eldest daughter of Professor Saxena and Mrs. Saxena, which means to say that there is another family called Saxena. Saxena's eldest daughter Shivani Saxena got married to Prashant Gupta. You understand, my dear students? Prashant Gupta married to Shivani Saxena. Shivani Saxena being the eldest daughter of Professor Saxena and Mrs. Saxena. I think you understand, my dear students. Okay, comfortable? Here is Saxena family, here is Gupta family. Then next information. The Saxenas married their youngest daughter to the eldest son of Mr. and Mrs. Banerjee. So, there is another family called Banerjee. There is another family called Banerjee. Saxena's youngest daughter got married to eldest son of Banerjee. My dear students, S means Saxena, female, and B means Banerjee, eldest son of Banerjee, youngest daughter of Saxena. Shivani Saxena, Prashant Gupta. Here I don't know the name, but I know Saxena. It is Banerjee. And they had two children named Alok and Parul. They had two children, Alok Banerjee, Parul Banerjee. They had two children, Alok Banerjee and Parul Banerjee. What, man? Comfortable? Why Banerjee? Because male is Banerjee, therefore both the people are given Banerjee surname. Then come on student, Rakesh and Mukul are sons of Prashant and Shivani. Prashant Gupta, Shivani Saxena had two children. Their names are Rakesh Gupta and then Mukul Gupta. Rakesh Gupta or Mukul Gupta, both are sons, therefore plus and plus. Then Riddhi is daughter of Alok. Riddhi is daughter of Alok Banerjee. Riddhi is daughter of Alok Banerjee. Okay. Students, now you please forget about the previous question. You tell me whether this is okay or not. Okay, no problem. First, let me explain you. After that, you please make your comment. First, let me complain. Don't respond quickly, my dear students. Tons of informations I am not just unable to read. Now, just look at that. How Mrs. Saxena related to Prashant? Mrs. Saxena related to Prashant. Prashant Gupta is the son-in-law of Saxena family. So, Mr. Saxena is father-in-law, Mrs. Saxena is mother-in-law. You understand? Mr. Rao, Mrs. Rao. But we don't have the practice, because in our South India, we are usually called by our name. We don't bother about our surname. But in North India, Mrs. Saxena is mother-in-law of Prashant Gupta. No problem, my dear students. Probably one more question or one more time, we discuss this question for one more time. You will be getting confidence after this. Just look at that. Here is the question. Look at that. Pavan Gupta. Here is Gupta family. My dear students, here is Gupta family. Pavan Gupta has three children. Who are those? Rekha Gupta. Come on student. Manoj Gupta and then Prashant Gupta. Prashant Gupta married to, there is another family called Saxena. There is another family called Saxena. Prashant married to Shivani, the eldest daughter of Mr. and Mrs. Saxena. Shivani Saxena, female. They got married. Prashant Gupta and Shivani Gupta got married. Students, comfortable, man? Come on. Then, The Saksenas married their youngest daughter to the eldest son of Banerjee. This is the family of Banerjee. This is Banerjee family. Hope you understand, my dear students. Gupta family, Saxena family, Banerjee family. Saxena family seems to be dominated by daughters. Eldest daughter got married to Gupta, youngest daughter to Banerjee. Come on, man. Come on. Next. Then. And they had two children named Alok and Parul. Therefore, Alok Banerjee, Parul Banerjee. Alok Banerjee, we don't know whether Alok Banerjee is male or female. We don't know Parul Banerjee is whether male or female. Then, Rakesh, Rajesh and Mukul are sons of Prashant and Shivani. Prashant Gupta's son is Rajesh Gupta, and then you have Mukul Gupta. Because they are sons, therefore male. At the moment, Alok Banerjee gender is not known to you. Final information. Riddhi is the daughter of Alok. Riddhi is the daughter of Alok. Well done. My dear students, look at question number 23. Look at question number 23. Is this okay, my dear students? Is this okay? Now please just listen. Just listen. Surname of Riddhi. What is the surname of Riddhi? Start. What is the surname of Riddhi? Respond. Respond. What is the surname of Riddhi? What is the surname of Riddhi? Well done, student. Well done. What is the surname of Riddhi? Respond. What is surname of Riddhi? Oh, somebody says Banerjee, somebody says can't say. Please listen to me. If anybody want to put Banerjee, you are mistaken. Because if Alok Banerjee happens to be male, Riddhi will be Banerjee only. If Alok Banerjee is female, Riddhi will not be Banerjee. What man? Look at. Even though Rajesh and Mukul are sons of Prashant Gupta and Shivani Saxena, but we have given the name of Gupta only, no? Because surname of any individual is usually taken from father only. This is a patriarchal society. The surnames are taken only from father, not from the mother. So if we don't know the gender of Banerjee, how can you confirm Riddhi's surname? Riddhi will be Banerjee if Alok Banerjee happens to be male. But we don't know Alok Banerjee whether he is male or female. Therefore, your answer is can't say. I appreciate many of you put can't say, but still some of you are putting Banerjee. Banerjee is not correct answer. Correct answer is can't say. Your answer is can't say. If you ask me to explain why, I say that Alok Banerjee gender is not known. I hope you are comfortable, students. Let me come to the next question. With this, so this question already we discussed. Right. Model number 2. Now we are moving to model number 2, my dear students. Just look at this question. Model number 2. Pointing to a woman, Jackson said. Pointing to a woman, Jackson said. Jackson. Students, in earlier days, the names are something used to be like this. Samson, son of Sam. Jackson, son of Jack. You remember? Samson, Jackson. So these are the traditional Christian names. So by the name usually people used to identify their genders. But now in our earlier names you still remember how our names used to be? Subbalakshmi. How beautiful the name is. Venkatappaya. Names. See how quickly we could able to identify their genders. What about these days? Different names, my dear students. Somebody, I just could not understand whether he is a male or female. Recently I came to know that the name of one person is J, just J. I am sorry, sometimes after some time you start putting your name A, B, C like that. My God, where the world is going. But usually by the gender we cannot understand the relations for sure. But usually, yeah, Jackson. What she says, pointing to a man, Jackson said, she is daughter of, only child of my grandmother. This is model number 2, my dear students, but this is very important model, usually given in competitive examinations frequently, but in fact it is not a very big issue, we can easily understand that. Yes students, please stop commenting, do not send any messages, I could not read any messages what you sent, please stop. Right, come on student. So who is speaking? She means the woman he is pointing out. She is the daughter of, only child of my means Jackson. Jackson by every practical purpose can be taken as a male. Tell me students, she, who is she? She is the daughter of, only child of my grandmother. Therefore, here is Jackson and Jackson has a grandmother. GM means grandmother. Where you stand? You stand at grandmother. Where you are now man, you are at grandmother. Whose grandmother? Jackson's grandmother. Jackson's grandmother, this grandmother is having only one child. That is Jackson's parent. Only one child. Only one child means Jackson's parent. This parent is having a daughter, the daughter is nothing but woman. This parent is having a daughter, the daughter is nothing but woman. Therefore, Jackson and woman are siblings of each other and they are the children of P means parent. Whose parent? Jackson's parent. Tell me, how woman is related to Jackson? This woman related to Jackson as a sister. I am pretty sure that you are unable to get the question right. No problem. No problem, student. Forget about this question. Forget about this question. Just see that A is son of daughter of B. Let me suppose that this is the information I gave you. A is the son of daughter of B. Then how do you start, my dear students? B. Come on. B's daughter. Minus means daughter. This daughter is having a son. And the son is nothing but A. Did not get it, man? Did not get it? A is, come, son of, come on student, A is son of, daughter of B. If I give the information like this, then how do you start this question? Where do you start from? You start from B. B has a daughter. Where you are now? B's daughter. B's daughter has a son. B's daughter has a son. And this son is no other than A. Isn't it? What, man? I hope you understand what I am telling you. So, this is somehow we usually take these questions. Yeah, I understand, students. I will be explaining this question again, no problem. Please do not post any comments, students, unless I ask you to do so. When you post, some thousands of students, some 1,000 students are there. So, if you start posting, I could not read even the important messages. Please don't. Unless I ask you, don't do that. Okay? Come on, student. So, this kind of questions, I just want to explain you something like this. Pointing to a woman, Jackson said. What Jackson said? She is the daughter. She is the daughter of only child of my grandmother. My dear students, what do you mean by saying only child? Listen. If I say that my mother is having only child, it's me. What, man? If I say my mother has only one child, it is me. You understand that? Please keep in mind. Come on. My means Jackson. Jackson, by the name we can take it as a male. She means woman. So, we are talking about woman. Yeah. Who is she? She is the daughter. Daughter of only child of my grandmother. GM means grandmother. Whose grandmother? Jackson's grandmother. Here is Jackson and here is grandmother. Where you are now? You are at grandmother. Whose grandmother? Jackson's grandmother. Yeah. This grandmother having only one child. Only one child of grandmother. Only one child means Jackson's parent. Only child should be Jackson's parent. There is no other way. This parent is having a daughter. The daughter is nothing but woman. Therefore, this woman is the daughter of this parent. P means parent. For grandmother, she is only child, and for Jackson, it is parent. I understand that you the people are not having full confidence. I understand that. Never mind, students. If you really don't understand this question, there is a solution. What is that? We need to discuss this in a different direction. Probably if I give you one more example, you may be able to get it right. Okay? Come on, student. I give you one more clarity. Maybe this time you get more clarity. A is son of only child of B. Come on, student. Only child of B. How do you take? B. Come on, we start with B. B has only child. I said only child. Never mentioned whether it is son or daughter. This only child has a son. The son is nothing but A. Therefore, how A is related to B? Grandson. I am very sure still you require some more clarification. No problem, student, we discuss. But probably blood relation, I am very sure that we will not be able to get immediately. You require some more questions to get the clarification. Never mind, students, we discuss one more question. Maybe this time you get more clarity. Then maybe after this we will be discussing this. But we do one thing, my dear students. We do yesterday's paper in detail. So today we end this discussion right now. We discuss yesterday's paper thoroughly, Maybe if we discuss yesterday's paper thoroughly, you will be getting complete idea. After that, we can discuss this kind of questions again. Okay. Now, we discuss this question and we stop our discussion. This is going to be the last for today's class. Hitesh said to Nitin. Who is speaker? Hitesh. Hitesh is speaking to Nitin. What is telling? The girl playing with the football. The girl playing with the football. Yeah, just look at that, my dear students. The girl playing with the football. The girl playing with the football is the younger of. The girl is younger of. Yes, students. She is the younger of two sisters. She is the younger of two sisters of the son of my mother's husband. My mother's husband. Now the question is, how is the girl playing with the football related to Hitesh? Come on, student. You please underline my and then you say Hitesh. My means Hitesh. Come on, student. My mother's husband means Hitesh's father. Mother's husband means father only. Ready? My mother's husband. Therefore, my mother's husband, my means Hitesh. Hitesh, mother's husband means Hitesh father. Hitesh father has a son. The son is nothing but Hitesh only, we can take. Yeah. This Hitesh has two sisters. This Hitesh has two sisters. And one sister is nothing but the one who is playing with the football. Therefore, this girl is nothing but the sister of Hitesh. You don't get it, no? Yeah, I understand that. The problem with you is you are not actually putting your brain. Student, usually what happens, in aptitude, if the question becomes a little complicated, you the people just leave it. But we need to put our brain when the question becomes even more complicated. More complication, more effort, more careful. You understand that? Just look at that. Look at that, my dear students. Just look at the question. Hitesh said to Nitin. Hitesh said to Nitin. The girl playing with the football is the younger of the two sisters of the son of my mother's husband. My mother's husband. My means Hitesh. Hitesh is the speaker. So let us assume that Hitesh is male. We can take no problem. Hitesh mother's husband means Hitesh father. What, man? Why I put you dot, the next relation starts from the father. The significance of dot is next relation starts from father. This father has a son. His son is nothing but Hitesh. Now where we are? Hitesh. Hitesh has two sisters and one sister is the one who is playing with football. Therefore, this girl is nothing but the sister of Hitesh. No problem, students. Maybe you will be getting the confidence after some time. So, we stop our discussion right now. We take a break for 5 minutes and we will be back. When we come back, we will be discussing yesterday's paper in detail. Okay? Thank you. Just look at that. Probably yesterday's paper, there may be some little some questions maybe you find a little difficulty, we will be discussing right now. Question number 1. M is brother of N. M is brother of N. And N is father of P. N is father of P. Then the question is, how is P related to M? How is P related to M? Yeah, what is right? Data inadequate. Because we don't know the gender of P, unless we know the gender of P, obviously we cannot get the answer. Nephew and niece. Okay, students, some of you are asking me to explain nephew and niece. Yeah. Nephew and niece. What is the meaning of, what is the difference between nephew, niece? Yeah, I tell you. The concept of nephew and niece comes over here. If A and B are brother and sisters, if A and C are brothers. So just come again, my dear students. Let me suppose that A, B are brothers and A, C are brothers and A, B are brother and sisters. They are said to be siblings. Tobuttuvulu. A, B and C, all the three belong to one generation. Students, if C has son X and B has son X, son Y, my dear students, these people are said to be nephew. These people are said to be nephew. Someone are asking me to explain nephew and niece. Nephew means son of brother, son of sister. Not your own son, son of your brother, son of your sister. They are said to be nephew. In Telugu, manalludu, tammudi koduku. But in English, in both the cases, nephew. That's all. Okay. And for example, if C and B is having two daughters, M and N, if these two people are having M and N, and these M and N are said to be niece. Niece means daughter of brother or daughter of sister. It can be brother or sister. They are said to be niece. I hope you understand, my dear students. Ready? Now, when you come to question number 1, your answer is date inadequate because the gender is not given. I think, yeah, you can do this question, my dear students. I don't want to waste your time on simple questions. Just look at that. A and B are sisters. A and B are sisters. A and B both are sisters. A is mother of D. Come on, student. B has a daughter C. B has a daughter C. And who is married to F? C is married to F. Okay. G is the husband of A. G is the husband of A. You understand? Couple should be put in bracket. How is B related to F? How is B related to F? My dear students, how is B related to F? Your answer should be mother-in-law. How is B related to F? B is mother-in-law. Please put the correction. Therefore, your answer should be mother-in-law. I think there is no confusion. Please make the necessary corrections, my dear students. Why data inadequate? Data inadequate means information is not clear. Then we call data inadequate. You understand, my dear students, how B related to F? Your answer is mother-in-law. Next one. A family consists of 5 members. A family consists of 5 members. A, P, R, T, H. P is wife of A. P is wife of A. P being wife, therefore female. R is daughter of A. R is daughter of A. R has only one brother T. R has only one brother T. H is daughter-in-law of P. H is daughter-in-law of P. Daughter-in-law means wife of T. H is daughter-in-law of P. How is H related to R? How is H related to R? Your answer is sister-in-law. H is sister-in-law. I think there is no confusion. So, when the things are clear, I am not wasting your time. Let me explain what is data inadequate. Data inadequate means, you understand my dear students, DI means data inadequate. That means this information we usually known as can't say. You can say can't say or data inadequate, both mean the same. Sometimes people say can't say, sometimes people say data inadequate, both mean the same, there is no difference. Okay? Next one, question number 5. Yes students, you can do this. I do not want to waste your time because the question is simple. Again, I do not want to waste your time. Question number 7. Should we discuss, my dear students? Okay, no problem. Just look at that. Here is the question. A has 2 sons B and C. A has 2 sons B and C. Come on. B has 2 sons D and E. B has 2 sons D and E. Come on student. C has 2 sons F and G. C has 2 sons F and G. B has a sister H. B has a sister H. Come on student. J, who is the father-in-law of H? J is father-in-law of H, which means H got married and J is father-in-law of H. J is father-in-law of H. Has only one son K. This person is nothing but K. L and M are the children of H. L and M are the children of H. L and M are children of H. Come on student. How is F related to L? How is F related to L? All they belong to the same generation but their parents are different. Therefore, your answer must be cousin. What man? Find any difficulty? Come again. If you find any difficulty, come again. A has, come on student, A has 2 sons B and C. A has 2 sons B and C. B has 2 sons D and E. C has 2 sons F and G. Everything is under control. I think there is no confusion. B has a sister H. B has a sister H. H got married to K. You understand? And K's father is F. I mean J. I think you understand. And H has 2 children L and M. This is what given. They are only given children, but I don't know the genders. But I doesn't require the gender as well. How F related to L? Your answer is cousin. Students, I think there is no confusion. I don't want to waste your time. Question number 8 is similar, my dear students. You can do that. Question number 9 is we can easily answer that question. Question number 10. Just look at that. A is B's mother's sister's daughter-in-law's husband. Just look at that. Maybe when the question is a little confusing, you have to be even more careful, man. Just look at that. A is B's mother's sister's daughter-in-law's husband. Come on, come on. B's mother's, come on. B's, where we are? B's mother's sister's daughter-in-law. This sister is having daughter-in-law means sister is having a son and son got married to somebody else. Daughter-in-law, daughter-in-law's husband. Here is A. Here is A. Then what is A related to B? This A and B are children of two people. Therefore, your answer is cousin. Did not get, no? I am very sure you did not get it. Never mind. Just look at that. Who is A man? A is B's mother's. Just look at that. B has a mother. B's mother. This mother is having sister. This mother is having sister. This sister is having daughter-in-law. Daughter-in-law means the sister must be having a son. Son got married to one female. This is daughter-in-law. This daughter-in-law has a husband. The husband is nothing but A. Therefore, A and B are children of two sisters. Children of two sisters are known as cousins. Children of two sisters are known as cousins. Students, so far we could complete question number 10. If you are having any doubts up to question number 10, you please tell me. You are asking me to explain in Telugu. I am sorry, my dear students, I am not allowed to teach in Telugu because there are many students and from different background. Excuse me, students, I am very sorry for that. Let me explain you once again, and you can understand that I am usually teaching you at a very lower pace, that too very simple vocabulary. You can understand what I am telling you. But I am sorry if at all if you don't understand. I will take the permission from the management. Students, are you comfortable, man? All clear. Fine, students. So somebody said all clear, therefore let me move on to the next question. Just look at that. Question number 11 is so simple, man. I don't want to waste your time. Question number 12 is simple. 13. Two daughters to each of the sons. How many females are there in all? Come on, student. So again, this question basing on the previous one. Yes, student. Just look at question number 14. Just look at question number 14. Here is the question. What actually you are given over here? All the 6 members of the family A, B, F are traveling together. B is son of C. B is son of C. Fine. But C is not mother. C not mother means father. C must be either mother or father. Not mother means father. Then come on, student. A and C are married couple. A and C are married couple. E is the brother of C. E is the brother of C. D is the daughter of A. Daughter of A means B's sister. D is the daughter of A. B's sister. Come on, student. F is the brother of B. F is the brother of B. Okay. Who is the mother of B? B's mother is A. Very simple. Even though question is a little lengthy, but question is so simple. I don't think that I need to explain this question again. Similar question, my dear students. I don't want to waste your time again. Once again, very similar question, very simple question. Very simple question. Yeah. In question number 18, maybe a little difficulty is there. I think if you don't get it right, you may face a little bit of difficulty for sure. C is the grandmother of E. C is the grandmother of E. C is grandmother of E. Do you understand, my dear students? C in the first generation, E in the third generation. Whose mother? Whose means E. E's mother is D. E's mother is D. But D is not the daughter of C. Oh, not the daughter. If not the daughter, daughter-in-law. If not the daughter, daughter-in-law. Therefore, it is understandable that C must be having a son. the son's wife is D and E here. You tell me? D is not the daughter but daughter-in-law. I think you understand. Then A is father-in-law of D. A is father-in-law of D. So A must be husband of C. E is the only son of B. Okay. E is the only son of B. This is D. How B related to C? How B related to C, son? How B related to C man? Son. I think I can go at a quicker pace because all the questions I think you are understandable. Oh yeah. Somebody said that all the questions are simple, but only problem is time management. I understand that. Therefore, I am not asking you to answer all the questions because the time is so limited. You are not supposed to answer all the questions. It is not possible as well. You have to choose the questions and try to answer as many as possible. We are in the process of learning. While in learning, it is not mandatory that we need to know each and everything. I think you understand that. Learning, what is important is perfection. So, it never counts how much you learn, it counts how good you learn. Yeah, what you said is right, my dear students. All the questions are simple. Only thing is time. Time management is all important in handling this kind of questions. Come on, student. So, this question is somehow related to coding, decoding and blood relations. Look at the question. R into V plus D into P. Then how P related to R? Come on, student. R into V. Read it. R into V. P into Q. P is wife of Q. R into V. R is wife of V. Put it in bracket. Then V plus D. P plus Q means P is son of Q. V plus D means V is son of D. Okay. Then D into P means D is wife of P. D is wife of P. Now you tell me, how is P related to R? Here is P. How is P related to R? Father-in-law. Because they have a son P and he got married to R, father-in-law. Okay. So far we have completed 20 questions, my dear students. So somebody raises that yes, a time is not sufficient, time management. Time management means practice. So when you practice, slowly you will be picking up the time, but picking up the speed of course. But of course, what is all important is you never be able to answer all the questions in the beginning. Don't even think of that. Try to answer as many as possible. Leave the questions if you find it difficult. Choose the questions where you can do, where you are comfortable with. Slowly you will be able to do all the questions, but it is a time taking process. Don't imagine you can do it in the first day. Students, so far we could able to complete up to question number 20. Yeah, please tell me any of the questions should I explain you? You are asking me to explain only difficult questions. Yeah, I will be definitely doing that. I will be explaining only difficult questions. So 21, I think you can do this, my dear students. You can do this. 22, you can do this. 23, we can skip. 24, I think, shall we discuss this? Okay, we discuss. Somebody asked me to explain question number 25, therefore I struck up question number 25. Just look at that. Question number 25. After this, we get back to the previous one, and if time permits, we discuss all the questions. Each of these questions is based on the following information. There are 7 persons in the family. There are 2 married couples and 3 generations in the family. Q is daughter-in-law of T. Q is daughter-in-law of T. What does that mean? Q Q must be having a son. Q must be having a son. If they don't have son, there is no point of daughter-in-law. Q is the daughter-in-law of T. So T must be having a son. The son got married to Q. Therefore, Q is the daughter-in-law of T. Again, student, U is the grandmother of S. U is the grandmother of S. U is the grandmother of S. U being in the first generation, S being in the third generation. Then, V is the sister-in-law of T. V is the sister-in-law of T. Means, so T must be having a brother. The brother got married to V. Therefore, V is the sister-in-law of T. P has two children, R and S. P has two children, R and S. U and V are siblings. U and V are siblings. Then, Q has no son. Q has no son. That is what given to you. Come on, student. But the point is how to club these two informations is all important. How to club these two informations is all important. This is the biggest point. No problem. Q has no sons. How is R related to P's mother? How is R related to P's mother? There is no point. Who is P's mother? U. And here is U. So, U is obviously grandmother of R. Even though these two relations have no connection, but we have no problem in identifying the relation. This is the difficulty of the question. Sometimes the question is a little difficult, but it is not really that difficult if you can put your brain. You see, students, how beautifully the questions are designed. You see, this is what we call is problem solving. You are asking me 20th question, can you explain again? Okay. You are asking me to explain question number 20 again. Oh, okay, I will be doing that. Yes, students, I think there is no confusion. So, first we complete the next questions. 26, I think you can do this now. Yes, students, now just look at that. Here in this question, it is in the reverse process. The process is which of the following means M is a maternal uncle of T. So, this kind of questions you have to approach from the options given to you. Look at option number 1. M into R means M is father of R. Then R plus T. R is mother of, where we are, my dear students? M into R means M is father of R. R plus T means R is mother of Q. P is mother of Q. Therefore, R is mother of T. R is mother of T. Therefore, it is understandable that this information never gives us the point that maternal uncle. That is ruled out. Now, here is the point. Next one, just look at B. M into R means M is father of R. Come on, student. Then R divided by T. R divided by T means P divided by Q. P is brother of Q. R divided by T. R is brother of T. Unfortunately, still we didn't get the maternal uncle of T. You first of all, you have to confirm how maternal uncle can be arrived at. Point number 1. If this has to be correct, question number 26. Come on, student. If M is maternal uncle of T, if this has to be correct, first of all, you must understand that M should be brother of a female. The female should be mother of T. What do you think? This must be the case. If M has to be maternal uncle, my dear students, if M has to be maternal uncle of T, the point is M should be brother of T's mother, here the T's mother in every case is taken as R. Therefore, what should be correct? M should be mother of R, brother of R must be mother of T. Then only M can be a maternal uncle of T. So, option A is ruled out, option B is ruled out. Let me check it out with D. If it is then I will check it out with D. No, it is not correct, because M minus R means P sister. No, M has to be male. Therefore, D option is ruled out, and let us check it out with this one. Probably that is not going to be clear as well. Explain me, my dear students, if this has to be true, how your answer should be? Let us check it out with this C. Read this. T into J. T into J means T is father of J. T is father of J. J minus N. J is sister of N. N divided by M. N is brother of M. This is not going to be, because M should be in first generation, T should be in second generation, because it is to be proved that M is maternal uncle of T. So, this is a little very tricky, my dear students. I just want to give you M is brother of R, maternal uncle, R must be mother of T. Here you have to see this. This particular conclusion should be seen. Come on, student. I hope you understand this. Let me explain you. M is brother of R. Where we have the brother relation, M is brother of R. Come on. R is mother of T. R is mother of T. Mother means plus. R is mother of T. It should be like this. Come on, student. It should be M divided by R plus T. Read that. What is M divided by R? P divided by Q. P is brother of Q. M divided by R. M is brother of R. Then R plus T. R is mother of T. P plus Q. P is mother of Q. R plus T. R is mother of T. Then what happens, M is maternal uncle of T. Therefore, you please make it right, my dear student. Your answer is none of these. Your answer should be M divided by R plus T. I hope you understand. Please make the necessary corrections, my dear students. I will be explaining you when there is any correction required. Please do understand. Yes, students, I will be telling in English only. Okay. So, please understand, my dear students, I have got my own problems because all the students not having the same learning capacity, but still I am trying my level best to see that it should be able to reach maximum number of students. Okay. Come on, student. Yeah, somebody asked me to explain question number 20, no? Okay, I will get back. Some of you are asking me to explain question number 20. What is the difficulty in question number 20, man? This one you can understand, my dear students. Question number 20, did you find any difficulty? No, there is no such need. Tell me what is question number 20? R into V, come on student, plus D into P. This is what is given. How P related to R? The question is how P related to R. Come on student. R into V. Read. P into Q. P is wife of Q. R into V. R is wife of V. R is wife of V. Then V plus D plus D. P plus Q. P is son of Q. V plus D. V is son of D. Then D into P. D is wife of P. This is the information. The question is how P related to R. So P is father-in-law. I think there is no confusion. Students, I am trying my level best to give you maximum questions. Sir, please once again explain. What? Once again explain. Question number 24. You are asking me to explain question number 24. Okay, student. So, question number 24, you are asking me to explain. Okay. Come quickly, my dear students. We discuss this question, and if you find any difficulty, we complete right now. P is father of R. P is father of R. R who is mother of S. R is mother of S. Okay. V is the daughter of T. V is the daughter of T. Okay. T is married to W. T is married to W. Come on, student. W is the daughter-in-law of Q. W is the daughter-in-law of Q. Q who is married to P. Now here we have the link. Q married to P. Here we have the link. Come. W is the daughter-in-law of Q. W is the daughter-in-law of Q. Therefore, their child must be T. T must be male. W must be his wife. Therefore, W is the daughter-in-law of Q. You can cancel here and we can mix the information over here. Q is the maternal grandmother of U. Q is the maternal grandmother of U. Means maternal means mother side. Probably U should be sibling of S. P is not a male. U is not a male means U is female. How husband of W related to sister of S? How husband of W related to sister of S? Sister of S means U only. Therefore, W's husband is T. The T must be maternal uncle of U. Maternal means mother side. Students, I think you are getting it right, but maybe some of you are having some doubts. I understand that. If there is any such doubt, we will be discussing tomorrow. And today we are about to conclude that session, and tomorrow we continue. Tomorrow is going to be the last class of blood relations. Thank you very much, students. Take care and take the test after taking some break. Thank you, students.